Come on then, let's go do this.
We are doing something exciting today. We're going to go and try the drone for the first time.
We are.
It's a beautiful day, so we've picked a lovely day for it. So we've gone to local heath because it's not a residential area. We're going to find a big open space and give it a go. So I thought that would be quite interesting to film, because hopefully the drone is going to feature, well, not feature, but help us film a lot better scenery and things. Oh, it's gone very dark. On our walks.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't crash it.
Do you want to say what drone you've got?
It's a Holy Stone drone. Don't stand on it.
Oh, oops. That was close.
And it's got a 2K HD, Ultra HD camera in it. Ooh.
It's an entry level one. It's definitely a beginner's one. It's not a super duper one, is
No,
it?
it's good for learners.
Yeah. The drone has attracted some birds of prey. They are slowly circling it, ready to eat it. So Dan's just going to land it to make sure that we don't get it destroyed on its first time out. We are back home and Lilia's just behind me in the background studying. She's revising all the time at the moment for her GCSE exams. And we are going to clean the chickens out because Sunday is chicken cleaning out day. We had fun with the drone. It's going to be a learning curve, I think, and we haven't even looked at camera settings or anything like that. But we did manage to get some footage, which hopefully you will have already seen. And we'll be taking it out like quite a few times, getting used to it over this year. Lovely sunny day. There's a storm coming, but I think it's only going to hit the north of England. Storm Corrie, which just makes me think of Coronation Street. They've got a cat meowing at the back door, if you can hear that. She's going to dart in the moment I open the door to go outside for the chickens. Right, let's go and see what those daft beasts are up to. You're such a cheeky cat. Dan went to pick up the wood he bought to put on the in the woodshed, and I haven't seen him. I can hear voices, so I'm assuming he's found other men folk to talk to. Oops, just got that on the camera. No, not for drinking. You're gonna get wet. Get these perches nice and clean. Right, you ready for this? Oh, pegs. What's over here? Oh! Okay. You get in there, you. It's dangerous to get too close. They're such messy eaters. It's going everywhere. They're having a grand old time. It's the first day it's been nice enough for me to come and sit with them in a while. So I'm surrounded by happy munching chickens.
I could never settle down too far away from my hometown. With my family I am bound. I stick by them till I'm in the ground. Resting on the myth of old, all of the stories I've been told. Secret places hidden well, I've gone now as far as I can tell.
Hello, it is now Thursday, would you believe? It's been a very busy few days of work and school and house stuff, and if you can hear a funny noise, an intermittent funny buzzing noise, it's because I'm filming this in the evening, so it's dark, and I'm filming it, well, that's got nothing to do with the noise actually, but I do have something to say about the light. But I'm filming it in the evening in my bedroom, and right above the bedroom is the loft bedroom where there is a shower, and Phoebe is currently in the shower and the pump is carrying the water right over in the ceiling, so occasionally you'll just hear the pump going. What I wanted to say about the light was I feel like I have been quite the genius, because I have used one of Phoebe's old lights which has quite a good little filter on it. I say doing that, and I've put it behind the camera in the hope that that's going to make the lighting a lot better, even though I'm under obviously false light. So yeah, it's Thursday evening, the kids are all fed, they're all having showers, getting into pyjamas, and I'm going to get into mine shortly. The nights are definitely drawing out now, which I have mixed feelings about. On the one hand, it's looking forward to kind of all the new life and nature and spring, and you know, enjoying my newfound appreciation of all of those things. And on the other hand, it's just too much light, too much noise, too much heat. But that's not until summer. So, and I've made myself a promise, as I said in my first vlog of the year, not to berate the seasons for what they're not and to celebrate them for what they are. So that is my mantra for the year. And basically, I wanted to finish off this vlog by talking about my sketchbooks. I've had quite a few comments and questions about whenever I show my sketches or talk about it. And I also get quite a lot of comments along the lines of, oh, I'd love to do it, but I can't draw. And I wanted to talk about a little bit about how I got started, basically. I've talked about this before, so hopefully I'm not going to bore you by repeating myself. But I thought I'd show you what got me out of the mindset of I can't draw, and the books that I used, and talk about a few other bits, and then show you what sketchbooks I have, and maybe just a little bit about the materials that I have, which are all really simple and inexpensive to use. So first of all, so I was that person. I loved art at school. I did GCSE art, I loved it, and I, for various reasons, stopped doing it after my GCSE. And then obviously life took over, got a job, got married, had kids, and just, you know, I did my degree in business, and other things just took over, and slowly I became the person who said, oh, I used to be able to draw, but I can't do that. I don't have the talent, it's too difficult to learn to do it, and all of that. But then the thing that changed for me was, well, a book by Stephen Reddy. I did a free trial with what was then called Craftsy, then wasn't called Craftsy, then was called Craftsy again. And I did a class with Stephen Reddy, who is an artist. And that introduced me to his style of drawing and also to the world of urban sketching. And I bought his book. He's got a few books, but this one was available on Amazon in the UK. So it's Everyday Sketching and Drawing, 5 Steps to a Unique and Personal Sketchbook Habit by Stephen Reddy. This is where my light situation is going to let me down, I think. It might be a bit glary. So there it is. And these are all his sketches that you can see on the cover. And basically this has instructions for his style of drawing. And it also is a bit about his story and his sketches that he did all over the world. And there's an absolute wealth of inspiration. He talks about the tools he uses. And there is tons of his work in here, different ways that he does it. And he does his drawings in a very specific way. And I adopted that, and it just changed everything. He is very kind of the mindset, you do it, you finish it, and you move on to the next one. And that's practice. And you don't judge it. That was the main thing. You don't judge it from the moment you pick up your pencil, which is what I was doing. I'd be like, oh, I can't do this because I can't draw and it's going to be awful. You do the drawing and you finish it, and you don't judge it at all. And the drawing is your drawing and your world. And it's very hard to sort of sum up in a very quick way, but this book basically changed everything. And his style of drawing was something that I really identified with, and really matched my own style that I wanted to achieve, and it made sense to me, and most importantly, it made something that was no longer fun again. From that, I discovered the urban sketching world, and then I started watching videos on YouTube, and I discovered 2 other artists who really helped me to start to learn and hone my drawing skills or practice. And the first one was Alfred Dunn, and this is his book, but he's got a fantastic free YouTube channel where he's got hundreds and hundreds of videos showing you different drawing techniques for drawing with pen and ink. And this is his pen and ink drawing, a simple guidebook. He's got a couple of books, and it has some fantastic, I won't show you too much because obviously it's a book, I don't want to give too much away. Things about shading and composition and everything, and this has been brilliant. And this is designed to be able to scribble all over it, write notes, make little sketches inside it, and it's printed on a paper which doesn't make you feel precious about it. And I absolutely love this. He's a very, very talented artist. That's him. That's his drawing of him. And then from that, I discovered Danny Gregory. In fact, a lot of people watching this channel mentioned Danny Gregory, so I listened to Danny Gregory's podcast, which is the Art for All podcast. And he does YouTube videos as well. He does live drawing sessions. And then I got one of his books for my birthday last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. An Illustrated Journey, Inspiration from the Private Art Journals of Travelling Artists. That just made me jump out of my skin. That was Dan coming in. I told everyone I'm coming up to the bedroom to film. Just give me 10 minutes. I knew it wouldn't happen. What was I saying? Yes, An Illustrated Journey by Danny Gregory, and he basically went around and spoke to all different artists, all urban sketchers from all over the world, different situations, different life stories, and compiled them in this amazing book. I haven't even got through the whole thing yet. I just pore over it and I really take my time. You can see that I've got lots of little notes and reminders in it to navigate my way back to artists that I felt have really inspired me. And this whole world of loose, fun, urban sketching where you're doing it in your own style. This is Tommy Kane's work. You know, perspective isn't important. No one's going to be, you know, marking you on your fine art skills, and that just made me turn a corner. So those are 3 books that I found really helpful. Don't want to talk for ages and bore the pants off of you, so I'm going to be really quick now and show you the sketchbooks that I have. So first of all, I bought myself a Sea White of Brighton sketchbook, which looks like this. This is the A5 watercolour travel book, I think it is. See, if I can find a link, I'll put a link to it. And then the first thing I did was, well, I left the first page blank because it was intimidating me. So I just left the first 2 pages completely blank because then I couldn't ruin them, which I know is daft. And then I just got stuck in, and this became my kind of good sketchbook, except it's just a sketchbook. So I started sketching when we were away on holiday in France, completely sticking to the principles of not worrying too much about perspective, just having fun, mucking about with watercolours, learning about them. I drew the Fort National in Saint Malo. I would take a photo during the day, so I wouldn't do this on location, and I would come back to the gîte at night and I would sit and have a merry time. I did this instead of knitting or reading, drawing from a picture and just learning. Ooh, that's a little thing. I drew a street in Dinard. It's all going to be really washed out because of this bright light. If I need to, I can always put overlaid video over the top. And I drew one of the chickens that was on the, oh, my colour wheel falling out, who we named Helene. And that was one of the things, having those chickens at the gîte was what made us think about getting our own chickens. I drew the pool area. And the great thing about doing this on holiday is I can remember where I was sitting, what I was doing, whether I was having a drink or not, what the kids were doing, what the weather was like, what the time of day was, what it smelled like, because I sat and did this drawing. It's so completely different from taking a photograph. So whereas I did this one from a photograph and have lovely memories of it, this one I did sitting in a chair looking at the pool. Little sketches, and I just tried to draw every day. I drew a view out when we got home. We visited my stepmom, I drew her house, I drew a view out of our bedroom window, and it was just practice, practice, practice. And then because I was really pleased with everything I'd done in here, I got another one, exactly the same, and this became kind of like my just whatever I felt like it book. So it could be a bit of urban sketching, it could be just practicing, say, drawing eyes or facial features, or working out proportions, or just, sorry, I'm not holding it up very well, am I? Or just doing little sketches and then making it work, seeing how I could complete a picture even when I'm not pleased with it, mucking about with different colours I got in sets, different types of materials just to see how they felt, little diary entries. So I know I'm not showing this close up, but I just want to give you a brief idea of how I use my sketchbook. So I've kind of got my good sketchbook that I would really sit down to take time with, and then one where I just want to practice how to do shading on trees from a YouTube tutorial, or I fancied drawing while the kids were having their hair cut and I didn't have much time. Very much practice. Oh, this was just a doodle that I made up in my head. Again, getting the idea of different watercolours in my set. These were the pictures that I always get lots of comments about when I drew some of the buildings in Westgate-on-Sea, but I was really pleased with those. This is a postcard I found inspiring, and so on. And then in addition to that, I have a book that I keep in my rucksack, so that if and I've got a couple of pens, which I'll show you in a minute. It's a Sea White of Brighton again, and I just draw if I'm sitting down somewhere, and I practice doing fast sketches. So this was a cafe I went to with Phoebe, And then this was in the pub with Dan. This is a little day out we had. This was me sketching at the museum. I was trying to do different methods of sketching. That was a door knocker. And just mucking about. That was something on the grounds at work. And so on. Just little sketches, practicing being fast and not judging myself. So that's my other sketchbook. I also have a moleskin that my mum bought me for my birthday, and I've never used it, but I was fascinated to feel what it was like. But I'm not ready to use that yet. I don't want to start another sketchbook just for the sake of it. But I do have a moleskin sketchbook. So those are my sketchbooks. Oh, and in addition to that, I've got a couple of little doodle books, and these are so important to me for just getting stuff out of my head. And this never has to, I usually do this in pen and pencil. And they really are the kind of things you do on the phone, on a Zoom meeting, or you do a scribble and then you make it into a picture, even though it never was going to be a picture. The kids draw in it as well. So for example, I'm practicing doodles from a YouTube tutorial. I've even got my original design for my little Drop of Wonderful pin in here as well. So I'm really pleased about just little doodles, little ideas. Like I did a sketch of a bird that I didn't like, but then I forced myself to finish it. So it's a little doodly thing, and it was fun. It was fun to fill the whole page. Little sketches. I just did a tiny little scene of flowers. This was something I did. I think I was on a call and I was just doing stick figures on a pad, and I thought they were quite cute, so I just stuck them in. That kind of thing. Just a license to play, basically. So I'm going to quickly show you the tools that I have, so you know the pens that I like to use. So I bought a really cheap and cheerful little paintbrush set from the Works or Amazon or somewhere, and I took all the paintbrushes out and then I filled it with the stuff I actually use, so I've got it all in one place with a little zip. And my favourite pencil to use for doing sketch outlines before I go in pen is just one of the little black and yellow, don't know what they are, Stedler Norris HB pens. So that's what I use. And then my favourite pens for sketching, I do sometimes use the Uniball pens, which is the pens that Stephen Reddy uses. But now I very much prefer the Micron pens, and you can get these really inexpensively on Amazon. You can get them in sets of all different nib sizes, and I just experiment and find the kind you like. And then I've got some brushes that I like for doing watercolour, and then I've got some jelly roll pens for doing like white highlights. I don't use these very often though, I find them a bit awkward. And they all go in here. I've also got a little pencil burnisher which helps me to smudge if I'm doing something just in pencil. And that is it. And then I have a teeny tiny little watercolour set, which is a Winsor & Newton travel set. Again, I think it's one of the most inexpensive watercolour sets you can get. I've switched a couple of the colours out just because I prefer to use them, because you can buy them individually as half pans. So I've got that. And then I've got a little bag that's got a couple of watercolour pens with ink in. Now, this is to do with Stephen Reddy's style of drawing. So I've mixed my ink in the way that he recommends, because he always does a grisaille layer, which is where you do the shadowing before you do the colour, and I love that. But I find it really awkward to carry ink about, so I've put it into watercolour pens all ready and mixed up, and I keep it in a little Ziploc bag with a old grey face cloth, which is handy for wiping my brushes on, but also if these leak, it's going to absorb most of the leak. So I've got my watercolours, my little pencil case with my brushes and everything, and I've always usually got a little jar with me and some kitchen roll, which it's got water in it, but I could always just get water from a tap somewhere, or when we were in Scotland I just got water from the burn ran alongside where we were staying. And that is my kit, a sketchbook and these, and I just bung them in a bag, and that's what I do. But and one of these, just a really simple plastic palette for mixing watercolours. If you can hear my stomach making gurgling sounds, it's because we've just had dinner and now it's all gurgling. You don't need to know this stuff. Oh, and this is the Micron pen packet, just so you can see the exact what they look like in the packet. And that really is about it. I've got the odd little extra thing that I like to try, but really that is my kit that I use. And I think the key is, if you're saying to yourself, I'd love to do it, but I can't draw, go to the library and get one of these books out if you can. Go on YouTube, find Alfred Dunn, find Danny Gregory, go onto the podcasts, find the Art for All podcast, get inspired. Go onto Instagram, search up urban sketching. Look at Stephen Reddy's got a great Instagram, and it will really inspire you and get you started. So let me know if that was helpful. I really hope it was. And let me know if you're going to get started. I know quite a few people have said that they have been inspired to get out and start sketching, so that's brilliant. And I feel funny talking about it because I don't feel that I know anything about it. But the fact is, we're all artists. We're all able to do this for ourselves, not for other people. But we're able to create drawings, create art, create collage, create anything you want for our own well-being. I highly recommend it. So I think I'm going to go and get into my pyjamas now and go downstairs and read a bit more of the illustrated journey. And I'll see you in the next vlog.